Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land under the free, and the home of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight to remain the name of the brave. We are the U.S. of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. This land of the brave, the U.S. of A. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free, and the home of the
What's up, guys? How are you? Repeat back with you. Thank you very much for hanging in there. One big thank you to the one and only Madison Rising for allowing NNR to use their version of the national anthem for all these cup races here with these NNR guys. Right back at Dover, if you caught the truck and Xfinity races over the last couple nights, well, we've got 25 cars on track tonight ready to duel it out, see who can elude the one and only Miles the Monster, and get that W. As always on Thursday nights, the man, the myth, the legend, Old Word Burton's going to be in the booth, and as well as special guest, the one and only More Than a Cape from morethanAcape.org. If you listened or if you were on Facebook or on Twitter, you heard today that we're finally giving away that Chase Elliott All-Star Win diecast that he put into victory lane at Bristol Motor Speedway under the lights. Word Burton, it has been a very long week. We were talking about Dover and Movember and all that. I know you're probably pretty tuckered out, but who could be better right now to give any kind of critiquing about some laps turned around this concrete jungle, man? How are you?
I'm doing great, Pete. Again, glad to be here on this Thursday evening for NNR Cup. And I'll tell you what, when I look at the race here tonight, Pete, It's going to be interesting because while I've logged a lot of laps on custom setups over the past week and a half, having the privilege and opportunity to race in the Movember 50 on Sunday, defaults actually race here just a little bit differently. These first runs in particular, we're going to see
Oh,
the cars really, no matter what
yeah.
default you run, tend to be a little bit loose and on edge. So what I'm excited to see is how do these drivers take their first runs. I don't think tonight we're going to see too many yellows. I honestly think we're going to see more of a single file racing than anything else, and the bumper being utilized more than ever. But in this first run, I think you're going to see the best handling race cars up in front. And I think it's going to be those drivers, Pete, ultimately, that'll be in there for the bigger picture in the end. Guys like Jose, Lucky Dog, who picked up his first win last week at the road course, he's a favorite here. And of course, you can't count out CGMX Rose here at Dover. This is arguably his strongest intermediate track, in
Oh,
my opinion. You could
yeah.
definitely look for him potentially to take home a victory here today and continue on his strong season here in the NNR Cup Series.
Yeah, something I actually talked to Rose about yesterday in another party was just that. I remember in stage 3, race 1 of the eSpark race, season 1 rather, right here at Dover. He got it done on the outside of the one and only track bar and was able to get the win. The first season in eSpark wasn't the best to watch, but it was a whole lot of fun and very entertaining. Kool-Aid Pop Bear, thank you very much for the sub. Kool-Aid, good to see you. Smith NC, what's happening? And, of course, the famous one and only Rock NASCAR, thank you very much for coming out, buddy. All right, guys, I just got the invite to the race. They are going to take 2 pace laps around here, so let's go ahead and get loaded in. Cape, I'm going to find you right now and get you an invite. And there you go. And Word, are you? Hopefully, you're
I
showing
am
online.
finally appearing online. Yes,
Hey, how about that? And of course, I don't see you though. Or wait, let me scroll back up, just in case. Nope, I don't see you. Cape, can you invite Word, please, while I start to go through the field, if you don't mind?
Yes, sir. I'm on.
Appreciate it. All right, so yeah, looks like it's going to be the 95 of Jose 95. He's going to be starting on a pole. Looks like he got a little gun shy right there at the beginning. Decided to go ahead and take off to the outside. It's going to be the 36 of Boehner, one of our streamers for the night, driving that 36. He's going to, again, start outside pole. 19 of Ingalls rocking that Bass Pro Camry. Then we got the 13, Lucky Dog. Just talked about him about being a favorite. Then we got the 42, one and only Young Gun, CGMX Rose. The 12 car of Knights, and arguably his best start since coming back to NNR. We got the 41 of Dan the Lawn Man in that Haas Mustang. 18 of NNR Rowdy. Still remember him battling Kamal for the win here just a year or two ago. 9 car of More Smoke, been very, very strong this year. 22 of Jay as they go to complete their first pace lap. 51 of Daddy B with the 8 of Forrest Smitty to his outside. 4 car Natty Dread. Then we got the 32 of NNR Drake, formerly known as Exclusively Elite. 2 car of the ever-famous Stout Whiskey. He'll be right back here on Sunday as well. 48 of the Aviator. Thinking about maybe going back full-time, question mark. 53 of old Mike Honcho with the 6 car new guy here to NNR, old Mr. Asylums. 88 of Alpha York with the 24 of community owner Coey. We got the 47 of Augustus, 38 of Fatless Dig, 27 of the Captain, 43 of Sweeter Feed to his outside, and then starting tail end Charlie. Looks like it's going to be the 21 of Parzival. Guys, we're back up front taking it green. Here we go, Word.
Indeed, Jose getting a great jump into turn 1. The 19 just barely scraping the apron coming off of turn number 2. And 1 car already nearly wrecking to the inside, farther in the back. But now, right now, restarts. It's the most hectic part of Dover. but you start to see the field get single file. Rose, he passes Lucky Dog for the fourth position. Expect those two to work very well together to try to make some ground as they work their way into turn number 3. Everyone for the moment knows the tail. Looks like Lucky Dog slides up. The 12 trying to make a move to the inside. And it looks like the only other car side by side is Parzival farther back in the back.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was kind of interesting right there to watch the 12 of Knights diving underneath the 13 of Lucky. You really could see how Knights was trying to keep that Mustang off the inside of that Camaro. He got wicked loose, showing that he was trying to put a little extra wheel in it. So great job by Knights to keep it off the 13 and what could have arguably been a big wreck, because if those two had gotten slideways, they would have easily collected the entire back half of this field. Right now, Word, as you said, everybody just about single file all the way around this larger than Bristol concrete canyon. And while talking about Bristol and concrete canyons, I just picked up that 9 of more smoke, and wouldn't you know it, he's rocking that UniFirst, pale blue and cream colored Camaro that we're going to be giving away tonight. That's right. More Than a Cape from morethanAcape.org is in the booth with us. Over the last several months, we've been selling raffle tickets to purchase or to give away this very diecast. Well, over 100 tickets were sold, and the winners will be in at the end of this stream tonight. You don't have to be here to be present, although we very much appreciate it. And it looks like we've actually got our first caution of the night. Gentlemen out there in the chat, thank you very much for all the bits. That's my first ever hype train. Absolutely appreciate it, fellas. Thank you very much.
Well, before you hand it off to Cape here, Pete, looks like our first incident involved Captain as well as the 43 of Sweeter Feeds, and it looks like potentially maybe the 4 car. They were all side by side. In fact, almost nearly 3 wide coming off of turn number 4, and it looks like one car bounced off the wall, ultimately causing them to spin together to bring out the first yellow of the afternoon.
Well, Cape, we're going to rack and stack back up. 95 Toyota for Jose 95, 36 of Boehner to his outside. So first and second are going to fall right back in line, right where they were. I imagine that everybody took this time to go on down pit road for the first time, make any kind of adjustments that they needed, and come on back out on track, side by side, 3 rows deep, while everybody else is kind of all single filed out. Cape, I didn't get a chance to ask, man, how are you doing? And welcome to the booth for the first time, buddy.
Nah, thank you for having me, man. I'm doing great. Just, watching some racing. Oh, Boehner goes in the wall, and he's pushing somebody else down the track. Looks like about 3 cars got together. They're beat. Doing great. Just watching some great racing. It's hard to run the high side here. Learned that firsthand. Tuesday night, the Truck Series, and Dover's just a bigger Bristol. It's just as hard to pass, though.
Yeah, very hard to pass, but unlike Bristol, before Bristol was ground down and repaved and done all that, the bottom line was the way to go. At Dover, it's still the bottom line, where at Bristol, the top side is really the place to get around, to be able to carry a whole lot of momentum. And Stout Whiskey and I were talking a little bit about that last night, the difference between the two and diamonding out the corners and really trying to get runs and all that. So I'm absolutely glad that you brought that up. Kool-Aid, thank you very much for the gift to the one and only Logan DeBra. I haven't seen Logan for a while. Logan, good to see you back for these NNR Cup guys right here from Dover. It's been one hell of a race, and they're just getting started. One new feature I have, ladies and gents out there in chat, is actually the ability to bring somebody from the race over to our channel and then put them on back when we're done. After the stage 1, or during the stage 1 break rather, we'll actually go ahead and pull somebody in, and we'll talk to them real quick about their car, what they're experiencing so far. Doesn't necessarily have to be the stager, doesn't have to be anyone in particular at all. Maybe just somebody that's shown to have a lot of speed, just hasn't been able to navigate their way through the field or what. But man, right now, looks like Jose is really getting up and getting gone here, Word.
Indeed, Jose is getting gone, and Rose was able to get around Ingalls, who nearly caused that big wreck with Boehner about 6 or 7 laps ago. Now you see Lucky Dog, he works his way to the inside, and Boehner trying to shove him through. Those two cars that just made the spots now for third and fourth, they were really struggling to get around the 19, while Rose was able to pass on the outside. Both Lucky and Boehner had to really be patient, which ultimately cost them time. I'm eager to see now that they're back in the draft line if they could start to reel things down. But you start looking back up at the front too. CGMX Rose is really starting to slowly close in here on Jose at this point in the run. You've got to wonder if Jose perhaps has more of a long run car than he has a short run car, because while yes, he does have the gap, he's not as much faster right now than the 42 in this point in the run.
No, not at all. And I apologize. I don't mean to sound a little out of sorts. I am just watching these guys out there in chat go nuts. I'm loving this. There's only about, 10 to 15 people in chat right now, but between Rock and Papa Bear and Kool-Aid, those are the guys that I've seen right off the bat. They've got a beautiful hype train going. All kinds of bits and sub-gifts and things like that. Man, I tell you, this is not only is NNR a big community where we take care of each other inside the walls of NNR, but the community around this racing community is phenomenal as well. I see Kool-Aid out there, Pop Bear, Smith NC, Rock NASCAR, and there's other people that haven't said anything that are just kind of hanging out in the chat, watching a good race, as you said. But thank you very much, everybody. Again, please, if my thank yous ever sound like they no longer have meaning, I apologize for that. I can only thank you so much in so many ways. Sincerely, guys, from the bottom of my heart, big thank you. But Cape, it looks like from first all the way through about, I'd say 20th, with 25 cars on track, everybody is single file, and it's starting to look like the Credit One Camaro for CGMX Rose is starting to reel in that 95 of Jose, and the 13 of Lucky's not too far off his bumper.
They are, Pete. And I'll tell you who I'm watching. I'm watching Stout Whiskey. He's got a smooth line. He's got a great car. Patience, just what I would expect out of him. But he is working this 41, just trying to be cordial and get around him and not use the bumper too much. But he's got a fast car, and it looks like it's handling well. No wobble, nothing like that. So Stout could be a big player by the end of this race.
Absolutely. Stout went and swept last season at Bristol, like you mentioned just a little bit ago. There we go. This is basically a Bristol on steroids. Some of the features are others, some not so much. The corners here at Dover are actually they dip down and around, then you come back up onto the straightaway, where Bristol is pretty much flat but very, very banked. Well, I shouldn't say flat because there's nothing about Bristol that's flat. I just meant there isn't the big dip going into the corners like you see here. This place is like a roller coaster. Although, like I put out there in Twitter, there's nothing amusing about this park if you get caught up by miles.
No, sir. And if you ever get the chance to walk those turns, boy, they're steep. And Bristol's steep too. I was about to say, Pete, if you ever walk up the turn at Bristol, it ain't easy on us fat guys, man. It's rough, those turns.
Yep. I remember many years back, Dave Burns. Oh, it looks like the 6 car. I think that's going to be Asylum.
Asylum just hit the glitch spot. I was just on board with him, Pete. And he hit the spot that Rose has been complaining about all week long. A scary moment, but no yellow. And I was just about to compliment him because he restarted Pete 22nd after that last yellow. He worked his way up to 12th. Now he finds his way back in the back of the pack.
Yeah, the same thing happened to the 40 truck on Tuesday night. He hit that spot and it spun him around. There was nobody anywhere near him.
What's that?
The
47 just spun on the backstretch.
47 on the backstretch. Well, it doesn't look like caution's going to come out as of yet. And if it was just him, I'm going to guess that Coe will not call won't call an audible, won't call a manual caution. These guys look like they are still flat out under green, laying hard on that throttle. We're going to continue to go through the field. The guy that started tail end Charlie on the field is going to be the 21 of Parsville, guy that I've called my silent hunter for quite a while. And we've got 7 laps remaining here in stage number 1. Your word.
Indeed, 7 laps to go. CGMX Rose has found his way up to the lead. Lucky Dog 385 sits in second, and then our pole sitter of Jose 95X has fallen down into the 3rd position, with Boehner quickly catching, trying to take it away. But for the most part, it's a 4-car breakaway. But to no surprise this year, CGMX Rose has been the guy to look for. He's dominated, just flat out simple. 3+, he's looking for 3+ wins this season. He's won. Oh, no, Rose hit it. Rose just hit the spot. He's going to spin in the 1. Lucky Dog, the new leader. And just as I was about to compliment how near perfect he's been, the 42 has gone for a spin and put last week's leader in the lead.
Yeah, with Jose right there with him. Kool-Aid out there in chat talking about flashbacks about the wall. Kool-Aid knows that very well. I just mentioned a moment ago that the 40 truck on Tuesday night, well, that happens to be Kool-Aid, had that problem, and yeah, had no idea what happened to him. And then this other guy that's in the booth here, old Mr. Cape, kind of made contact with him, smashed him on down, made sure he stuck to that inside wall, and we're winding down, just 3 laps to go. Looks like the 13 Geico Camaro for Lucky Dog is going to go ahead and seal max points if he doesn't get caught up by that glitch. It kind of reminds me of the bumps that used to be in at the very, very top of the turns at Kansas. I don't remember if it was 1 and 2 or 3 and 4, but Kansas being that highline track, all that momentum up there, you wanted to be as high as you could. But if you got too high, there was a very, very bad bump up there that could completely take you out of the equation. And with it being such a very fast, very even track, if you lost the lead, it was very, very hard to regain that. And looks like with 1 lap to go, keeping an eye on old Lucky Dog here, maybe we'll take this stage break and we'll actually pull Lucky in and interview the man once he crosses that start stripe.
Indeed, as Lucky starts to come off turn 4, he will take stage number 1 and essentially Pete what is the game of survival. But give CGMX Rose a lot of credit. Anyone that would have hit that wall would have probably wrecked their race car and wrecked it bad. But Rose, he let out of the gas, did a full 360, and kept with it to somehow maintain the 4th position with minimal damage. Give him a lot of credit, Pete.
Absolutely, and another guy we're going to give a little bit of credit, like you just said, Louis Zader, old CGMX Rose. Rose, you got yours on, buddy. I guess Rose is not going to be available for any kind of chat with us right now, so we'll get ready for stage number 2. Rose, hopefully we can catch up with you next time. Good luck in the rest of the race. So we'll pick somebody new next time. So looks like we're going to stack them back up one more time here, and it's going to be the 13 and the 95, same way they finished up. Stage number 1 is the way they're going to start off stage number 2. Lucky's the control car. Here we go, Cape, taking the screen.
And they'll roll down in turn 1, Pete. Nice tight pack. Everybody keeping a smooth line. Lucky takes the lead out of 1 and 2 here, and he goes to the backstretch with everybody towing and tail. And don't look now, but Stout Whiskey has cracked the top 10. So, and we got one around to go to turn 3 and 4, and it's Stout Whiskey. He's in the wall hard.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I just as you started talking about him, he got shoved to the outside. Not going to end very well for him. As it's by the sounds of that 95 car, they are still all about that throttle pedal. nobody has cracked it yet unless they're setting it to get it into the corner. So word by now, between the one caution that we had and the stage break, you got to figure that everybody's got what they've got. They've been able to load up the setup that they worked on all week long. It looks like, oh, here is that caution.
Yeah, we're gonna have a manual caution. It looks like here, Pete. But I would imagine what you have is what you have now. But at the same time, throughout the rest of this race, it's really figuring out how the car reacts to those main adjustments that you've worked on all week long. Sometimes lobbies, especially Dover, tend to change. And I know that sounds weird, but it really does depend on the host for some reason about how the feel of the car is. Sometimes, if you're running in second, such as Jose, for example, your car tends to be looser than in other lobbies. And sometimes, when you're in the lead, such as Lucky Dog, you may burn that right front off. It's just kind of the way the game works. So I think these drivers are going to start making their adjustments based upon the spots they are here on the racetrack. And by the way, as everyone comes down pit road, no surprise at all that nobody's staying out. You want fresh Goodyear Eagles here at Dover if you want to be successful.
I'll tell you what, let's see if we can't actually grab a quick word with our leader, Lucky Dog. It's repeat Word Burton and More Than a Cape in the booth. Buddy, you got your ears on. Lucky Dog, you got us, buddy. Nope, looks like we don't have Lucky either, so we'll go ahead and let him get back. Let's see if maybe we can't get a hold of the 95 of Jose 95. As soon as I find him, right quick, there he is. Let's see if we can't get a quick word with him. Jose, it's repeat and Word Burton and More Than a Cape in the booth. You got us, buddy. Jose, you got us. Boy.
I believe you struck out, Pete.
Yeah, three strikes and you're out, I think. Say what?
I said nobody just wants to talk to us tonight, apparently.
Yeah, I guess not. So, all right, we'll let him get on back to the Discord and let them all set as we see everybody exiting pit, coming on out. Some people would spend a little bit more time on pit road than others if they had any damage. I imagine the two-car Stout Whiskey that we saw way in the back, he definitely collected more than one person after he got sent hard to the outside wall. Yeah, Harvick, we're trying, but unfortunately it's just not working. Either that or nobody wants to chat with us. One way or another, buddy, it doesn't matter. It's all about fun. But here we go. One more time. Everybody stacked and racked back up, going back green. Here we go, where it looks like the 9 is out front.
Indeed, a more smoke out to the lead after taking 2 tires on that last restart. Lucky Dogs, he's the first car on 4 tires as they work their way to turn number 3. The 42 as well, CGMX Rose, did the same exact strategy as the 9. But to no surprise at all, the front 2 that have been arguably the best 2 all season find themselves yet again in the front. Now the question is for More Smoke, who had a terrible qualifying effort. Typically, you see him up in the front. This time he qualified towards the mid portion of the field. Can he hold and maintain that track position that is ever so important at a track like Dover?
And that's the question there, Word. You know, you and I, we've ran custom setups. And one of the things that I found surprising just running NNR trucks on the presets is how much you have to really stay ahead of the track. With a custom setup, you can make it do what you want to do, but how much do you think having those 2 tires is going to wear on that car out front, you know, being out front and just trying to keep pace?
I think it's going to wear a lot here, if I'm being honest, Cape. You know, typically, when you see it in real life, you can get away with 2 tires. But as you see CGMX Rose, who's just going to get out of the 13's way of Lucky Dog, once these laps continue to wind down, if you took 4 tires, even if it's a lap or 2 difference, it has an advantage. And while, again, More Smoke has a little bit of a lead, you have to remember, draft has an impact. Even if it's not that strong in terms of the settings, the line has a huge, huge impact. he can really start to get very tight up there in the lead, which allows a lot of options for drivers behind. They can try to make a move to the outside, or knowing Lucky Dog, he'll wait to shoot off the center of the corner to the inside. So we'll see. But right now, that 13 car, Pete, very, very fast on the bumper of the 9. It looks like he can go into the lead here in a couple of laps.
Yeah, Lucky Dog may. I don't know if he's quite strong enough to rattle the one and only Amore Smoke, but he is absolutely all over the back bumper of that UniFirst Camaro. The Lucky Dog just staying right there in his draft. Now these guys are running the lowest draft setting possible, the same draft setting that the Xfinity race ran last night, and it was actually pretty good. Some guys were able to pull out and pass. There wasn't a strong enough of a draft to go on out there and pull anybody up, but it was just strong enough to have a little bit of effect. Cape, you were in the truck race on Tuesday night. What did you think about over the truck race, the draft package that y'all ran there, and what did you feel or what did you see from behind the wheel of your 24 truck?
Oh, we got
23 truck, excuse me.
3 and 4, but if I remember correctly, Pete, we ran the normal draft, or maybe we ran the low draft. The draft really didn't matter that much. With the trucks, it's a little easier because you can place it on that high line and kind of roll the corner. With the Cup cars, man, they've got so much power and so much wheel spin. It's really difficult. But like I said, for me, it's figuring out. Okay, well, I'm a little loose coming off the corner. In a custom setup, I would raise my right rear rebound. Boy, say that 5 times fast.
Yeah.
That loose coming off the corner, but this track just eats right front tires, and it looks like we're back under a yellow there, Pete. The 18 and I think the 37 got together there coming out of 3 and 4.
Well, it's it looks like it's going to be another manual caution. So Coe is the one that's kind of responsible for doing these. Let's see if we can actually pull our leader into the booth and grab a quick word with him. Coe, it's repeat word Burton and More Than a Cape in the booth. You got us, buddy.
What's up, bud? How are you?
I'm all right, Coe. Thank you very much for joining. So this is the second kind of manual caution that we've seen in about the last 10 or 15 laps. What are you kind of seeing out there on track? Guys being a little bit more aggressive than normal, or is it just Dover being Dover?
It's a little bit of Dover being Dover, but it's also some of these guys saying there's a little bit of screen freeze going on at Dover. So that's what Poopy's issue just was now. Went to that turn and hit that apron because it had the screen freeze.
Gotcha. So
a little bit of the race isn't too bad.
No, it absolutely hasn't been all that bad at all. It's been some pretty close battles up front in the middle of the pack, as well as in the back. So, man, good luck the rest of the race. We'll let you resume amongst everybody else, and hopefully we'll see that 24 up front before long.
We're trying, Pete. We're trying, bud. Thanks, man.
Yep. Have a good race.
You too.
Pete,
all right, guys.
Funny about screen freeze because during the truck race, NNR SWATs told me that half my truck was in the wall when I was going around the turn. I'm like, no, I'm at the bottom of the track. So it's a real issue in this game, the screen freeze. But it's been great racing so far.
Yeah, really can't complain. And to tell you what, another guy that can't talk now, that can't complain, is the 22 of J-Pa. Right now, J-Pa Militia's got to be excited about the driver of the 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford Mustang sitting right there in P number 4. J-Pa's done pretty well this season. He's been getting some help from Stout Whiskey and others to make this car better. Sitting right now P4, the outside line may not really be where he wants to be with how tight these corner exits are. But we're going back green one more time. 9's still going to be the control car. Go ahead and take us back green, buddy.
Indeed, they take it back green, but it looks like the 13, a Lucky Dog, jumped the start. Now he's going to have to lift it, perhaps, to give the 9 the lead back. They work on the 2, but 13 stays out in front. We'll see what will happen with that. But for the moment now, make Lucky Dog your leader. You mentioned J-Pa. and the kind of season he's had all year long. He's been arguably the most underrated driver this season that has found a bunch of success. While, yes, he hasn't been your CGMX Rose, your NNR Rowdy, your more Smoke, Aviator, or even Lucky Dog, who sits in the lead right now, he's put together quiet, consistent numbers that have had him find a very, very solid start to the season. This is no surprise that we see him in the top five yet again, Pete, and continuing to get better. Just like how he was at Bristol, this is arguably, again, one of his stronger tracks, very similar style and approach. To me, it's no surprise if he even you could see the 22 in a podium spot when it's all said and done come the end of the day.
Yeah, and you know, he was kind of joking around. He said, Pete, the only time I ever get to talk to you and Word or you and HD or whoever is at a restrictor plate. Well, he's kind of broken that curse. He's actually been in the booth a few times so far this year. So J-Pa carrying on that momentum. You know, I know that he's gotten some help from, you know, Cole 315 and Exodus Maverick and, you know, and Cheeseburger and Bill's Legend and all those other, you know, Q-Dog and Master Killer, all those friends that he's had from NAOR for quite a long time. So, yeah, J-Pa keeping up here with the strength of the 42 of CGMX Rose, the 9 Carb More Smoke. Right now, 13 of Lucky Dog, showing that he might be in a little bit of a class of his own after those you know, last couple cautions and the changes they've been able to make. But man, he is right there, sitting P4 and putting a little bit of gap on the rest of the field.
Indeed, he is sitting in P4. The big thing right now for those three is really trying to stick together a little bit and create a draft. Again, even with the draft being on that lowest setting, that doesn't mean draft is non-existent. You need 3 cars to get together for that draft bar to turn on. But the thing is, you need 3 cars to be even. And you start to see both a More Smoke and CGMX Rose start to pull from that 22. If that continues to happen, if I'm being honest, that's only going to continue to allow this 13 to tiptoe away. So if you're a driver that just doesn't have the draft of the car in front of you, sometimes you have to make that decision to really help yourself pull up. And I think these drivers are going to start making those decisions sooner rather than later here in the stage.
No, we got another yellow cars.
Yep, I was just going to say the 18 and the 4 got together a little bit deeper in the pack, saw it all unfold right there on camera. So some very unlucky times for those guys. And as soon as we get back to green, I'll actually get back with NNR Boehner to see where he sits, how he's looking on fuel, and what we've got as far as laps and all that go. Actually, I can do that now. It looks like we got about 54 laps left in stage number 2, so 200 laps here on tap for these NNR guys, and a couple manual cautions. I think this is only our second normal caution, but like you heard Coey talk about just a moment ago, there is a little bit of lag out there. Plus, we've seen guys get spun by that high line glitch. Hopefully we can avoid the rest, and Dover will stop being Dover. Miles the Monster will just let these guys race as we're going back under green, and it looks like 13:22, 9:42, and then the 95 of Jose 95 sitting right there to round out your top 5. And then I think that's going to be the 8. Yeah, it's going to be the 8 of Fort Smitty sitting there in P6, 48 Rowdy.
And as they come up before, you have Lucky Dog in the lead yet again. And I'll tell you what, the outside, as weird as it sounds, Pete, is the place to be if you're in the front row at a restart, because you're able to get such a strong run. But any other time after that, you dread that outside middle lane. You don't want to be in it. And you see J. Paul, who's fallen back to 4th after restarting second that last restart. Getting to the bottom is crucial, almost kind of like Martinsville, where if you get stuck on the top side, you're just going to get trained. And we see the effect of that hold up because of J. Paul getting stuck on the outside. Lucky Dog, yet again, Pete, has been able to pull away from this group. But now on fresh and even tires, I'm eager to see if Moore and Rose can start to track back down.
Well, still working through the field. It looks like a big old conveyor belt all the way around this 1 mile concrete track, otherwise known as Dover International Speedway. Man, it's been a lot of fun. Somebody asked Lucky Dog on Tuesday night, if the track actually, rubbered up like you'd see in a real NASCAR race, and of course it doesn't do that. But one thing we do have is the side draft. It is a real thing here on Heat 5. I remember more smoke doing it many times to people where they didn't think that actually happened until all of a sudden that 9 car was pulling the guy back by just a little bit, and Amore was able to take that lead. There is real tire wear on the game, and the 2 times wear, 2 times fuel, or 3 times wear, 3 times fuel, whichever these guys run. I kind of forget, but there are some parts of it that come true, but the track doesn't rubber up, but your car does come in as the race goes on. As you see the 12 of Knights, I'm not sure if he got just deep into the corner or if he was kind of afraid about the car that was right behind him that was going to run the corner just a little bit deeper than he was comfortable with. And that was going to be the 36 of Boehner now, right behind that 12 Mustang. With all your practice, getting ready for this Movember race on Sunday at 2:00 over on the NASCAR Heat Twitch page, what in your, without giving away much, because I know guys still have some time to test and tune and get ready, have you found anything in the 1,000 or 2,000 plus laps that you feel are really going to help you out once we get to Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, to be honest, I think there is things that I've found out, and I think if I'm being honest, it's being and running behind guys such as your front 2 and front 3 of a more smoke, Lucky Dog, and CGMX Rhodes. This track in particular is huge about the line and learning how to build momentum. Now, when you look at the Movember 50 in particular compared to an event like this here tonight, Pete, fuel is going to be involved whether you like it or not. You're going to have to go 25, 26 laps on fuel to set yourself up at that halfway point. If you're in a race like this, because it's so hard with the high RPMs to save fuel, you're going to have to find multiple ways to get speed. And that comes with the line. You can alter the cameras, you can alter things, but when it's all said and done for Sunday, it's about learning the rhythm, learning the line. And I think a lot of that, if I'm being honest, does translate to the track here tonight, Pete, because the guys that are going to be in the event, such as that front 3, and guys like Stat Whiskey, NNR Rowdy, Boehner, they all get that repetition they need, which really will help them out for Sunday.
And if you don't mind, I know that the whole Movember thing is all about men's health, not only maybe not physical, but also mental health. Can you give us a little bit of a rundown on what the whole purpose behind the Movember run is?
Indeed, well, the whole purpose behind the Movember run is ideally, it's a tribute to men's health. There's many men around the world that, suffer from, depression and other mental illnesses. And Movember does the job of, coming in and assisting people that, go through mental issues. And on top of that, they are a big advocate for men's health in terms of prostate as well as testicular cancer. And I'll tell you what, in a lifetime, based upon my scientific research that I was analyzing from Harvard the other day, that 1 in 9 men in the world, throughout their lifetime, get prostate cancer. About 20,000 people a year get testicular cancer in some shape, some form. What Movember does is they've come in almost kind of like a Meals on Wheels, for example. They come in, they find individuals, and they come to their aid. Medical bills, especially for cancer in particular. It isn't easy. Movember, they try to do the job of helping and assisting patients and others that have come to them for help. And that's really the goal. NASCAR Heat's done a very good job to this point, raising over $7,000. We're already in the top 100, in fact, of organizations donated towards the cause. And one thing that's also special, MasterCard in particular has a deal going on where if you donate $10 to any team member, especially here in this Movember event for NASCAR Heat, they will donate $10 back per person as a tribute to their partnership with the event. But it's a very special cause, and it means something when you can save someone's life or have an impact in a positive way. It's something that's a really huge feat, and I'm glad to be a part of this, as well as everyone else here on the track that has the opportunity to.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said just that at the end of that. There are about 6 or 7 people that are part of NNR that have made the Movember top 50. In fact, I just put Stout Whiskey's link out there in chat. Go on over, tag on it. You can read a little bit more about not only what Word said, but also what Stout's got on his page. And I believe Word, if I'm not mistaken, the way that the race is being lined up on Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock on the NASCAR Heat Twitch channel is by donation amount. So let's say you gain, or you have 20 people donate and you get $1,000 and you have the most amount of money. And then Stout Whiskey, he's got $750. He's got the second most. You would then have the poll, and Stout Whiskey would then start P2 right here at Dover. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that is exactly right how it's going to work. And again, while it's, I guess you could say, motivation based to go out and get a part of the cause, it is important, especially to take part for everyone. And, it's not about competition. I know for a lot of these NNR guys, especially, you love to get competitive and see who can raise the most. I know guys like Aviator, for example, who's not here tonight. He's raised over $300+ on his own. I know Stout himself as well has raised a good bunch. It's really about getting together and having that good cause. And while I will say this individually, a starting position is very motivating. I think a lot of these drivers and people part of this event, I have to give a lot of credit. It hasn't been about the racing. It's really been about doing what you can to get involved with the cause. So I don't really think there's much, I guess you'd say, care about that. But you can tell every single person here, from top to bottom, really care about this and really do want to make an impact. Because being honest, we're all men at the end of the day.
Yep.
And we want this impact to have an everlasting life on us, if it's ever to happen to us. So this is really the least we can do, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely, it's all for a great cause. A lot of people might say, you're a man, pull up your big boy britches, or the old saying, just rub some dirt on it, get back in the game. People just think, because guys are guys, they're going to be tough about it and soldier on. It's not always that case. We might be able to do that physically at times. If we get hurt, or you're playing ball or something, you sprain an ankle, man, get up, get off the court. But mental, and deeper physical issues, they can take a bigger toll. They can sideline more people than not. It looks like green flag pit stops are underway. So all these guys are going to make their way down pit road, fill up on some good old Sunoco E15 racing fuel, come on out with a brand new set of Eagle Feel Goods, and try to attack the second half of stage number 2. Next time by, I'll go ahead and grab a lap count. Again, definitely want to thank the one and only Alpha York, as well as Boehner, for both streaming tonight, kind of keep us in the know with 25 laps remaining here in stage number 2. Once they all complete this pit stop, they should be good to go until the end of the stage. And Cape, after that last manual caution that Coe had to call, these guys seem like they've been able to settle it down just a little bit and really attack each other, while, as Stout says, still taking care of the person ahead of you in order to, not wreck them.
Yeah, Pete, I think most of those cautions are just caused by the guys getting the curb down there at the bottom of the track that they installed sometime in the the spring of 2020. But from what I'm seeing, it's just guys getting that little bit of curb going in the corner and sliding up and accidentally getting into people. But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out coming out of pit road. I know Stout Whiskey was just on pit road, and a bunch of other cars. So it's going to be interesting to see how that splits the field.
Yeah, you know what, Word, I don't know exactly how many laps these guys are able to get on fuel. I didn't watch, Boehner or Alpha York or as far as what they had when they first left their pit stop. I know last night in the Xfinity race they were able to get about 37 laps on a full tank. Cup cars, they tend to get just a little bit less, so I don't think they'll have to take the 2 full cans. And with the field as strong as it is and how spread out that it's starting to get, I would imagine that they're going to try to gain any little bit of advantage they could. So instead of rather taking 2 full cans of fuel, just maybe take 1.5 or whatever gets you to the end of the stage.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're going to start seeing is drivers really trying to extend it. To be honest, a lot of guys have pitted here, Pete, to my surprise, which means there's a lot of drivers trying to go with that short pit strategy to try to jump in front of the 13 as well as the 42. But you see both of these drivers out in front. They're doing a really good job maintaining their stuff. Now, if my calculations are right, typically you're able to go about 34 to 35 laps on default here on 2x tire wear and fuel wear around the track. But when you look at it, it's not easy at all because you have to maintain that right front tire. You have to, do a good job of maintaining the fuel balance and load. You're seeing both Rose and Lucky do that. And to your point, Pete, they're going to come down here in the next couple laps. They're going to take the least amount of fuel they can. And I really think that strategy is going to be the one that wins them stage 2 because they'll be able to pass drivers on the outside while having fresher tires.
Yeah, absolutely. I just saw the 18 go down pit road. Looks like Amore Smoke. He's gonna take it on down pit road right now. Man, I hope Amore was able to get that UniFirst 9 Camaro woed up enough before he actually hit the commitment line. It looked like he was a bit squirrely under brake, so hopefully he was, and he can get in and get out before. Get in and not have any issues, able to get back out on track in needed time, so he doesn't lose too much track position. Looks like still more and more people as we're watching a battle now between the 42 of CGMX Rose and the 4 car of Natty Dread. Rose is actually going to go ahead and take that Credit One Camaro down pit road, and there's still quite a few people actually as the 4 of Natty Dread went on by. Saw the 9 car of More Smoke come on out, so I don't think he actually got that speeding penalty. I think he was able to get it woed up, and now it looks like 36 of Boehner's going to go ahead and bring it on down with just 16 laps remaining here in stage number 2. Cape, laps are winding down, almost about to start stage 3 where everybody's going to get stacked up one more time.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is during the truck race Tuesday night, I don't mean to keep going back to it, but I saw a bunch of guys take 2 tires, right side tires, with 16 laps to go in the stage, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in the field and the finishing position here in the stage.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, not only did Jay Gimbel, take that option, just the 2 tires, but he also saved a boatload of fuel as well at the end of the race. Gimbel didn't make it, to post-race interviews, but he reached out to me. He said Pete kind of stole a couple of stage wins earlier this morning is when he messaged me about Tuesday night, and I said, "Yeah, man, you did. You looked pretty good." And during the interviews, Unforgotten Shadow says, "Man, I hate the people that can race with those shifters and save all that fuel," and he was 100% right. That might be something that we talk about once we get to stage 3, how long the stage is, if people can shorten out the laps, if they can do the math just right. Some of the people that are very, very good at that, Boehner's good at that, Dohar's very good at that. We saw Jay Gimbel, get that done on Tuesday night. We might see some of that, like I was just saying tonight. We might see some of that on Tuesday. Either way, it's going to be a lot of fun as we're actually riding along with the 2 Discount Tire Deuce Mustang of Stout Whiskey. He's pretty excited about that race Sunday. But word, when 47 grand is on the line, I guess there's quite a bit to be excited about and a whole lot of momentum behind those dollar signs.
Indeed, well, not exactly 47 grand, Pete, in one race. Again, that's throughout a span of 4 races. But you mentioned the strategy. Well, we actually are seeing it. Lucky Dog took 2 tires while he's out there on the track, and he has a massive, and I mean massive gap all the way back to the second car, which makes me start to think here, Pete. Everyone else took 4 tires, but Lucky took 2. The question is, can he maintain that lead, or is he going to fall? Because right now, as he works his way into turn number 3, you look at CGMX Rose, who's coming off the 4. Actually, I may be wrong. Rather, I think it's Rose who took 2 tires compared to Lucky Dog. But needless to say, the strategy has been played, and there's definitely different drivers on different methods at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And CJ Rose, he's having to deal with a little bit of traffic here. You saw him fighting to get around the 43 of Sweeter Feet. Now he's got the 4 car of Natty Dread right in front of him. And I think the car in front of that's going to be the 36 of Boehner, if I'm not mistaken. Right now riding along, or I'm sorry, I'm watching the stream from Alpha York. He's sitting in about P15, and he's got Knights in, right in front of him, sitting in 14th. So I'm going to try to catch up. There's old Lucky Dog right now, and we were actually just keeping an eye on the leader. The 42 of CGMX Rose is actually in front right now, and he's got that 13 of Lucky Dog all over, as Rick James would say, his back trumpet. Can Rhodes hold him off in the closing laps? Here we go.
I just don't know right now. Again, Lucky's on 4, the 42's on 2, and initially when I was looking, I saw the gap and I thought it was Rose who was about 3/4 of the track behind, but it was actually vice versa. But Lucky's now gotten to his bumper and has passed him for the lead. The question is, though, for Rose, is while, yes, now he knows he's not going to win this stage, can he hold on to second? He has a very big gap. He has a lot of lap traffic in front of him. And as we've seen already in this end of stage for the start of stage 2, rather restart, you want to be on that outside lane going into turn number 1, much compared to the inside lane. I think Rose has a good chance. His goodness, nearly 3 wide in front of Lucky are the lap cars.
Yeah, you got the 4 car Natty Dread. You got the who is that now? Oh, here comes the 47 down on Natty. You got the 51. That's going to be Daddy B or something like that. And then you got the 47 as well. A little bit of contact there. That put the 13 up into the wall. Here is the 42's chance to go on by. But now Rose has to deal with that lap traffic. Rose has been bitten by that bug up high as well, as they go side by side into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, they're wrecking behind. I'll tell you what, Natty spun off the apron and he got drilled. And I'm not sure which lap car that was that hit him. But needless to say, the caution has come out. And that right there, Pete, is called lap car calamity. You race in front of the leaders, and they just know where to go. Lucky was so much faster than the 51, the 47, and the 4. And eventually, there's so much you can do. The 13 made a little bit of contact with the 4, moved him out of the way, and then the 51 walled him as he started to come back down the track. Unfortunately, the 13 thought he was clear and he wasn't, set the 4 on the apron, spinning and up the track, and unfortunately more cars hit behind to bring out, I believe it's our 5th yellow total on the evening.
Yeah, again, Kobe was able to join the booth earlier, and we asked him, what was going on, and he said just a little bit of instability in the lobby. But here we go, Cape. Starting off stage number 3, that wreck brought out a caution to end stage number 2. So 42 CGMX Rose probably feeling a little lucky right now that the caution came out when it did, because it allowed him to grab max stage point. I think he actually kind of stole that one there, but we'll have to see how this plays out. There's a very, very strong field of cars behind that 42 as we watch on from the 95. Jose, he's got the 22 J-Paul looking underneath him, as well as the 95. So at some point, The 95's really got to hope that a hole opens up and he's able to fall in. But right now he's got a very, very long conveyor belt, and Jose's going to continue to lose spots unless he's lucky here.
It goes back to that question, Pete. What would you do to win? And word, Pete, you guys have been doing this a long time. At what point is a lap car do you say, I'm holding them up, and do I move? And do I race to keep on the lead lap with 3 laps to go? That's the difficult balance that is tracks like this, concrete, high banks, Bristol, and then Martinsville. It's a flat track, but you have the same issue there. How hard do you race those leaders? Because you certainly don't want to affect the outcome of the race, but at the same time, at the end of the stage, you want to be on the lead lap.
Well, you disagree with me if you do. I mean, it is what it is. But I would imagine the reason that the 51 at Daddy B, the 4-car at Natty Dread, and the 47 were all racing as hard as they were all the last cars on the lead lap. So they're racing for a position. They want to finish on the lead lap rather than have to take the lucky dog spot coming to those closing laps. Unfortunately, a caution came out and saved all 3 of them. But either way, I would think that's the reason they were racing the leaders as hard as they were. I think, if the 4-car Natty Dread had the 42 or the 13 of Lucky Dog right behind him and he was all by himself, I think he probably would have just yielded, either moved up or gave him whichever line they wanted and got out of his way. But because that was a battle for the last car on the lead lap, I think that's the reason that they fought so hard.
Well, indeed, I think it is the reason why they fought so hard. But at the same time, it's utilizing, I want to say, as what Ward Burton and Jimmy Spencer and all those old heads, as you used to say,
yeah,
or used to say, is you got to use your head. Even Ken Schrader used to say it, Joe Nemechek, where just sometimes, it's a situation. Yes, you're racing to be the last car in the lead lap, but when you're 2 by 2 and then about to go 3 wide with a leader who has 20, 30 lap fresher tires than you do, it may not be the smartest idea. And I'm not trying to bash it by any means, but you just got to be aware because you're going to get flack if you wreck the leader while you're getting past, as a lap car. Now, if you race hard and you don't wreck, for example, Brad Keselowski at Talladega, if you remember a while back where he was 7-8 laps down trying to race from the leaders after a mechanical issue and ultimately wrecked the field because he was racing so hard. The same kind of scenario falls here. While yes, you're trying to stay on the lead lap, if you wreck the leader, you're going to get flack for it. And I think, unfortunately, that's just one of those situations there. While you're racing so hard, it's a lose-lose situation, Pete. And while, yes, you could have gave them, let them go, it's woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's all done and over with. And now for Lucky Dog, you got to move on to the next chapter. You see him in third. He already made a move by Aviator after restarting 5th in this stage. Now he's up to 3rd. For Rose right now, statistically, this season, when he hasn't won both of the stages, he's, for the most part, going on to win races. That could play into his favor right now, but I don't want to jinx it too soon as, let's be honest, we've had the broadcasters curse a bunch tonight, every time we've mentioned the name. But right now, Lucky Dog, he's all over the back bumper of the 9, and they're going to have to do some work as a group if they're going to want to catch the 42 in this long stage number 3.
Well, 42 with CTMX Rose, he is notoriously good on the long run. He's one of those guys that puts into time, puts into practice, works on short runs, long runs. NNR is notorious for the long run. The cautions that we've had tonight were very much out of sort. I think that's one reason why I chose to bring Coey into the booth during that one manual caution to find out what was going on and why I asked him, is Dover just being Dover? Is Miles the Monster just getting hungry after watching these long green flag conveyor belt runs? What was going on? He said, no, it's just Dover being Dover, a little bit of screen lag. The 48 had an issue. A couple others had an issue as well. But since then, it's been pretty good. At least I didn't see, or it wasn't caught on stream, what brought out the caution to end stage number 2. But with 69 laps to go and about 25 laps left in the tank for most of these drivers, they're going to have to pit at least once more and either really hope for a caution so that way they can finish up this race on new tires, or us as spectators, the guys that are watching a lot of great racing, do we want to see him slip sliding around, and the person that gets the W is the one that can control his car the best? Riding around right now with the 41 of Dan the Lawn Man's got 2-car Stout Whiskey right in his back pocket. They've got a whole group, a whole gaggle of cars right behind him, with the 32 of NNR Drake, formerly known as Exclusively Elite, right behind them. But up front, J-Pop, the 19, the 48 of Rowdy, the 9 of More Smoke, 13 of Lucky Dog, and the 42 of CGMX Rose as he continues to lead around this place.
He's continuing to lead around this place and at a very dominant pace, to say the least. Rose has been able to put all the stops together to this point to get himself about a second and maybe 0.3 of a lead. But expect one factor in this stage, Pete and Cape, to really start becoming a factor. And I know we don't talk about it too much, but you pinpointed it briefly early on in this race. You hate that drivers that have shifters have the advantage. Well, right now, if you have a shifter, you would love to have one in terms of saving fuel. These drivers may try to utilize a little bit of putting that car in neutral and then back into fourth to try to save themselves a little bit of gas so they can make it on one stop. But it's going to be a very, very tedious task. I would say on default, it is very, very much or too much to ask to get more than 2 laps saved. Right now, though, if both of these drivers up in front are doing it, they're doing a very good job keeping up a solid pace.
Oh yeah, absolutely. At the end of the last stage, Cape, I was keeping an eye on the 36 of Boehner, and he was absolutely throwing that thing into neutral, and then getting it back into gear, coming up off the corner pretty hard. Keeping an eye on the 2 of Stout Whiskey, one of the favorites for both of us. He's got the 41 of Dan the Lawn Man right here, right behind him. 32 of Drake was able to get ahead of him, but Cape, these guys are looking pretty good. Looks like they got another long green flag feel to the race right now. What are you seeing, sir?
Most of the cars look good and stable. There are a few guys that are kind of loose coming off the corner, but they're keeping it together for the most part. But talking about the shifters, a lot of people hate it. I'm one of those people that really hate it because I have a shifter and I just can't save the fuel. It's an art, and a lot of people don't get that, even on this video game. There's no just popping it neutral, popping it right back in gear, because it will spin you out. But it looks like we actually may have a caution there, Pete.
Yeah, we do. We have a car around. I apologize. Asylums just got drilled by what looked like a lagging vehicle. Someone surged back and put him into the outside safer barrier off of turn number 2, and they all kind of piled in from that point. So we've seen it all here tonight, Pete. We've seen apron incidents. We've seen glitch spot incidents. And now the dreaded lag incident. And no surprise, it's 10:04 p.m. You got to hope they're not racing to the server end, and more hope they're racing towards the actual finish line.
704 NASCAR Heat, thank you very much for the raid of 37. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NNR Cup Series live from Dover. Absolutely appreciate it. Coming off of a quick, rather strange caution for these guys. Looks like it's going to be the 42 of CGMX Rose. He's going to breathe the control car, take these guys back green. 13 of Lucky Dog to the outside. 9 car of More Smoke and a 36 of Boehner to round out your top 5. And the 95 of Jose 95. May recognize that name from the NASCAR Heat Pro League, as well as those 2 names up front. 42 CGMX Rose and the 13 Lucky Dog, your Season 2 champ. Good to see everybody out there. Hopefully everybody's well. Sloppy Joe, good to see you as well. How are you? Thank you very much for the raid, for the likes, for the follows. Hope everybody's well. Getting ready for Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock p.m. for the Movember race right here from Dover.
Well, Pete, right now, as they head down the front straightaway, they're yet again nose to tail with CGMX Rose in the lead. We saw Lucky Dog get a very, very strong restart, but he just wasn't able to clear the 42. But now, as we look through the rest of stage 3, it's still going to be about a one-stop feature. But now, fuel saving, it won't be in the picture. So expect these drivers to go full blast. And one driver in particular I have to give a lot of credit to is Boehner, who currently sits in that 4th position, Pete. Remember, he had that incident in stage 1 that Coey ended up sending him to the back for because he brought out a yellow. He's driven his way through the field and is back in the top 5 in the lead pack, trying to chase down Smoke, Lucky Dog, and CGMX Rose for the lead. It's been a heck of a run, to say the least, for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like a little bit of an issue on the backstretch. I was kind of keeping along right there with an 18 of NNR Rowdy, but unfortunately, it looks like we will be under caution one more time. Ladies and gents, we're going to take a quick break here, grab a quick beverage, something cold to drink. Y'all want to know how to follow NNR? Check this out. We'll be right back.
Hey NNR fans, don't miss any of the action by following or subscribing to Repeat's Twitch channel. Turn on notifications and you'll always know when the best preset league on Xbox hits the track. Check out his YouTube channel too to see all of NNR's past races. Follow No Name Racing as well as Repeat 1975 and others on Twitter, and you'll never miss any of the action.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you very much for continuing to hang out, chatting it up, keeping us company. We absolutely appreciate it. Going to go back up, find our control cars like as it was before is how it will be now. 42 CGMX Rose, 13 of Lucky Dog, 36 of Boehner. Word, you were just talking about him, as well as the 9 of More Smoke. Most of these guys up front are actually going to be in this race that you'll have to deal with on Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. over on NASCAR Heat's Twitch page. I put Stout Whiskey's charity page up earlier, talking about men's health, either physical, mental, or what have you, and it's been pretty good so far. Now, there's a big difference between obviously setting up a car under preset and setting up a car under customs. Customs, you've got everything under the car that you can work with. Your bumps, heights, rebounds, shock, springs, wedge, track parts, whatever. What are you looking forward to as we continue to watch this field under green flag as pretty much a big conveyor belt all the way around the bottom line? What are you looking forward to on Sunday afternoon?
Well, what I'm looking forward to is to see who can get their cars just to the edge enough to get it near perfection. At times here at Dover, and we talked about it already tonight, you're going to be tight as can be early on in the run and eventually get very, very loose. As, it looks like Boehner actually just got loose, and they're wrecking. Big wreck back behind off of turn number 2, and it looks like the caution's going to come out. NNR Drake up and over on his roof. And now his car finally resets. Yet another caution here at Dover, and Miles the Monster has claimed yet another victim. So they'll have yet another restart and make this pit strategy get even more closer and closer in terms of fuel. But going back to the point of Sunday, Pete, I look forward to see who can be on the edge and really pull the best strategy. I don't know what to anticipate, if I'm being honest, for 50 laps of green flag racing. Remember, I raced in the 10K event for the All-Star race back in Homestead last year for NASCAR Heat 4, and no one knew how to predict how that race went. It came down to fuel mileage, while everyone was anticipating the race going green for the most part and only having one pit stop. This format is the same. There's going to be one pit stop, but if there's yellows like there is, for example, here tonight, it can throw anything in the mix, which is why I think it's going to be more fun than anything else of seeing the diverse amount of strategies and who can put that strategy out to perfection while still being on the edge.
Well, Cape, we're going back green. 42 CJMX Rose up front. Guys in the back, in the middle of this pack, getting a little antsy, or so it seems. A couple of guys have hit that glitch spot out on the high side on the straightaway. I don't know if it's the issue for for that last caution or what the case may have been, but the guys that have been up front all night long are the guys that are still there. Although it looks like we got the addition of the 18. The 9 cars falling back a spot. Boehner, he was in P4, now having to hope for a spot on the bottom to open up. I don't know if the 22 with J-Pop will cut him any slack, but the top 4, top 5, all nose to tail, and then there is a very large pack headed up by this 36. Now, you talked a little bit ago about needing more than 2 or 3 cars, even on the low draft setting, to try to really get anything done. With the help that the 36 of Boehner has, the 41 rather, the 22, the 41 being Dan the Lawnman, 22 of J-Pa, the help that he's got behind him, will that help them push this 36 back up to the back bumper of that UniFirst Camaro of Amore Smoke? And will Amore Smoke be able to catch up to the 18? The 18 give the 2-car Stout Whiskey a little bit of a shot. Where does that all come into play?
Well, that really starts to all come to play here in about the next 5 laps towards the middle portions of the run. A lot of these drivers have very good short run setups, but not so much in the middle and the long run. And we've seen CGMX Rose and Lucky Dog pull away all day long in that point in the run. If you have something, you have to show it now. And Pete, again, I know we've seen a good amount of yellows here tonight. I don't think we're going to see many more yellows from this point on. The best car, I'd say, is going to win this race. And if you have anything, you've got to put it all out on the table now. Otherwise, you're going to have no chance of that 42 and 13, who are just pulling away as a 2-car tandem.
Yeah, they absolutely are. 2-car Stout Whiskey right now is in the best position that he's been in all night. Right now, that Deuce is sitting in P3. 42 CJ Rose still holding off to 13, or could it just be, as you said, where these guys are just biding their time, pushing along? These guys race very well together, whether it's in East Park, whether it's here in NNR, whether it's wherever they test throughout the season. Just as I say that, 13 to Lucky gave the 42 a little bit of some love to that rear bumper. Lucky's going to dive to the inside. 42 is going to have no choice but to just maybe try to pinch him down. Didn't even try that. If I was Rose, I would have. That way Lucky couldn't get the hammer down coming up off the corner as he needs to in order to really accelerate and gaining that good car length or car length and a half now back to that 42. That's going to allow the 13 to kind of extend his lead just a bit.
Yeah, you know what I'm looking at right here is I think when you look at it, Pete, I think Rose can be considering about saving fuel here. And I know that sounds weird, but he moved up to the middle line and just kind of let Lucky go by him. And while, yes, Lucky looks very strong right now, it's almost like Rose was trying to be that middleman. Save a little bit of gas, don't be the lead car. And that could be a factor here towards the end of the run. What are you thinking here, Cabe?
I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking he's trying to make Lucky use his stuff up quicker than he is. And kind of saw the same thing with Stout. He just went a little high. The 18 went underneath him, and I think they're racing smart. I think you're going to see Rose probably pit a lap or two later than what Lucky does, get 2 right side tires and enough fuel, and, winging a prayer, maybe he can make it. And you got the 18 that got in the wall and just tagged the 9, and Rose went down as well.
Yeah, it looks like Kate, that 18 of Rowdy. Earlier when I was talking about the 48, that was actually Aviator. Rowdy is he's another one that'll be racing on Sunday at 2 o'clock, and it'll be interesting to see him under setups. He used to race every now and then in East Park. Doesn't really run a whole lot in the setup world, but either way, he's usually a pretty big threat out here on Thursday nights when the NNR series runs. Usually starting about 8:30, 9 o'clock Eastern. For anybody out there in chat that likes what they see, be sure to go on up, smash that follow, hit the subscribe subscribe if you can. I give away NASCAR.com gift cards, Amazon gift cards, diecasts occasionally. In fact, we're going to be giving away a diecast tonight. If you're out there and over the last 3 months or so, you participated in the raffle for morethancape.org to win the Chase Elliott UniFirst diecast, the one that he put into victory lane during the All-Star race at Bristol. It's actually the same car that More Smoke is running right now. And yes, the LED lights on the diecast work the same as they did when you saw Chase Elliott burning it down in victory lane after the race was all said and done. So this car will be raffled off at the end of this race. Over 100 tickets were sold, and we're gonna find out who the lucky winner is gonna be.
Hey, word, Pete, not to interrupt you, but I think something may be wrong with the 13 car. He's falling way back. I think he just lost maybe 4 spots there between the first 2 turns, and he's a little higher in the corner than what he's normally been.
Word, do you think he might just be trying to save a little bit of gas?
That's what I think he's doing. Rose was on it earlier, and now Lucky has faded back to about the 5th position and about to fall behind Dan the Long Man for 6th here in just a moment. But I can just tell from the sound of Rose's engine, the mission is simple. Save, save, save. But what these 2 drivers don't need right now, if I'm being honest, is that Y word, a yellow. This will drastically impact the rest of the race if a caution's to come out, with both of these drivers losing positions like crazy. I mean, right now, if you're More Smoke in Stout Whiskey, you would love to see it, but you can tell right now that both of these drivers are trying to save to the end. While that's not necessarily on the minds of 9 and the 2, as well as Boehner in that 36, they're going to race it out. They think there's going to be a yellow.
I tell you what, as Alpha York comes across the start stripe in 23rd, he's sitting at 24 laps remaining. So word right now, the fuel window, is open for everybody. Do you choose to come on down pit road now, being that everybody's a bit spread out for the most part? I mean, yeah, there are a few guys a little bit further in the back that might have a little bit of side-by-side action every now and then. Do you choose to go on down pit road, come on out with some brand new Eagle Feel Goods, just enough fuel to make it to the end, and then try to see what kind of track position you can make up? For example, Stout Whiskey right now sitting in P2. He's got the 9 of More Smoke right in front of him. He's got the 36 of Boehner right behind him. If you're the 2 or the 36, do you decide to come on down pit road, grab 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, come on out to make up some lap time, maybe even make it ahead of More Smoke, and then go the distance? Or do you just continue to ride it out, see if they're plagued by another caution, as it looks like the 48 of the Aviators up high is going to stay out of the way of the leader? Something must have just happened to the 48 for him to be off the pace that much. But yeah, back to that question. If you're the 2 of Stout Whiskey or the 36 of Boehner, do you come down before that 9 to try to gain that track position due to those new tires?
Oh, indeed. I think you try to shortcut and play the strategy at least a little bit up the driver in front of you to gain a position. But the big thing about these front 3 and 4 right now is deciding what pit do you lap on. The longer you stay on the track, you have to remember, the more Lucky is able to save behind the car, and the same thing as well as CGMX Rose. It's not very typical, if I'm being honest, where we see the scenario here in defaults compared to custom setups. Usually when we see fuel saving, everyone's doing it as a group. But because of this being a default race and there being split strategies, you're going to have to make bold decisions. I think you're going to have to come in the next 5 laps if your mission isn't to save, to try to gain spots and give yourself a chance at the win, hoping that Lucky and Rose really drop their pace. Otherwise, you run it out and hope a yellow comes out, because that's really the only chances those drivers up in the top 5 have at the moment.
Well, I'll tell you what, it looks like one person that might be trying just that strategy, tried a little bit of resource, I don't know, whatever you want to say, is this Heat 527 of Captain. So he's obviously gone on pit road, just leaving his pit stall. He's got 4 brand new Eagle Fuel Goods, just enough fuel to make it to the end of the way, and we'll have to see if he can actually gain any additional track
I think
position.
We have a caution, Pete.
I
Runner,
think
you
we have
know.
a caution.
I kind of like that 27th paint scheme. I don't know if we do have a caution. It is a manual because I'm still watching the. Yeah, it looks like it will be. Yeah, it looks like it is a manual caution. Everybody lining up, so this might just be probably the luckiest break for anybody that just came out of pit road, including the 27 of Captain. We might have this Heat 5 car up in the lead because if he was lapped, well, there's no doubt he was lapped, but he's going to be able to maybe get that lap back. We'll have to see where he restarts because as he came out of pit road, the yellow came out. It'll be interesting. 17 laps remaining here, guys.
And you know what? Another thing, too, that I'm looking at is Rose really dropped back. And again, I said you don't want to see that magic why we're now cape. But Lucky and Rose lost the track position, which I would have to imagine now it's going to be anyone's race. Rose is just about to get out of his pit stall now, and he's going to come out back behind the 43 of Sweeter Feeds. So I believe he should line up maybe in the 17th position. Not what you want to see if you're the 42, who has arguably dominated this race alongside the 13. He's going to have a lot of ground to make up and not a lot of time left.
That's correct.
No,
But
he's not going to have a lot of time left at all. I'm sorry, Cape, go ahead, sir.
It all comes down to where we're there about 17, 16 to go. What would you do to win this race? You're going to have Lucky in, I think, the 5th position, and then you got a Moore and Stout on the front row. So there's some pretty good cars in front of them.
Indeed. You know, when I think about this, and Pete, you can even second this year, with the exception of Michigan. 90% of the Moore Smokes 3 wins this year have, I should say, 2 for 3 rather. So that's about 66% of his wins this year have come on races where he just happened to be the right spot, right time. He
Absolutely.
A Moore Smoke finds himself right spot, right time. And I guess I'm going to ask this question now before we come green. Who do we see winning this race, Pete?
I tell you what, it's going to be an absolute shootout. You got the 9-car from Moore Smoke down low, 2-car Stout Whiskey to the outside, 36 of Boehner. As you said, he's worked his way up. You see the 13 of Lucky Dog. You see the 18 of Rowdy. I mean, so this top 5 is absolutely packed. But here we go, back under green. 2-car Stout Whiskey's going to want to try to find a hole as soon as possible. And I think the 36 of Boehner just hitting that apron may have just left that hole for the 2. So whether he meant it or not, Stout Whiskey may be thinking about sending old Boehner a nice little Christmas hammer for letting him in right there. But right now we've seen a Moore Smoke in this position many times where he's had the entire field in his back pocket. And once or twice he's been able to go on and take the win. But yet I've also seen him where he wasn't quite able to seal the bottom or seal the deal a little bit later in the run. We are coming to the final laps. I believe we're going to be under 10 to go, if I'm not mistaken. I'll double check next time either Boehner or Alpha come across the line. But 12 laps remaining.
Indeed, 12 laps remaining, and Boehner, he goes to the inside of Stout Whiskey, but we have a caution. So
Caution is out. Guys, we're going to take one more quick commercial break before we bring you to the finish. Let's go to NNRLeague.com, take a look at the Zazzle. We're going to need a little bit of a sip of a cold beverage, and we'll be right back.
Hey NNR fans, are you looking for a way to rep your favorite NASCAR Heat preset league on Xbox Live? Look no further. Just go to NNRLeague.com, scroll down to the Zazzle tab, and see what we have to offer. From t-shirts to hoodies to clocks, we have everything you need to show your support. Thanks for being the best fans, and we hope to see you at the track repping that NNR red.
All right, guys, again, thank you very much for keeping it right here. Here we go, about 9 laps to go, give or take, and it is about to get crazy. Again, you got the 9 Universe Camaro for more smoke on the inside. 13 of Lucky Dog, he's there to the outside, getting up and going through the gears. Both of these guys actually run with the wheel and shifter. So it really right there is all about who can get up and get through them the best. And not only getting through the best, it looks like the 9 of More Smoke had the preferred line. So Lucky's going to fall back into P2. 18 of Rowdy right now in P3. 41 of Dan the Lawn Man sitting right there in P4. And now we're back to that very long train on the bottom through 1 and 2, going down the backstretch, Word.
Indeed, with the More Smoke in the lead, but now the pressure is on more than ever. Lucky Dog, after restarting fifth, 2 yells ago as the smoke hits the wall. Lucky Dog to the inside, 13, your new leader, with NNR Rowdy to the inside of the 9 now. They work their way off the backstretch. The Geico Camaro back out front for the second week in a row. Can he find a way to come home victorious? We shall see. But the pressure was on for More Smoke. The question is now yet again, do we see one more magical Y word to set up a green-white checkered, Pete? You remember how hectic the last time we saw green-white checkers were. I wouldn't be surprised as, Smoke gets him the bumper. He's going to move underneath. New leader 9. A More Smoke now out front.
Yep,
And
and
here
just when, go ahead, Cape, sorry.
I was about to say, here comes the 13 back to his bumper, but you got Stout right on his bumper trying to move him up the track and with turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Stout Whiskey now right there. He's tied the position or the highest position that he's been all night. More Smoke, he's been in the lead. 13 of Lucky Dog, he's been in the lead. Stout Whiskey has not been able to sniff that clean air as of yet. 18 of Rowdy back there in P4. Now in the closing laps with just 3 laps remaining. Can the 9 hold off the 13? Will the 2 car Stout Whiskey have any kind of a say in the play as to who comes the line the fastest? Will the 13 remember that last bump and give it to the 9 as he goes, to complete just 2 more laps? Will he give him the bumper to move the 9 up? Will they be able to settle it amongst themselves? Will, again, the other 2 determine who's going to win this race? Right now, all nose to tail. Word, 1.5 miles to go.
Indeed, as they come to take the white flag, More Smoke in the lead, Lucky Dog in second. The question is, did the 9 show the move too early? As they come off the 2, Lucky looks high. Smoke blocks bottom. Here's the 13 to the inside. Gives him the bumper. They slide up the track. But a More Smoke staying out in front. Coming off at turn number 4 is victorious for the 4th time this season in the NNR Cup Series.
I tell you, man, More Smoke, I have known this guy for years. His ability to get it done never ceases to amaze. And Cape, how fitting that the car that you're giving away tonight is the car that goes to victory lane. 13 right there, Stout Whiskey. He's going to be in the booth with us as well. Great run by all 3 and way to dig by everybody else in the field. I really thought with under 10 to go that it was going to get to be absolute pandemonium. They were all going to get extremely aggressive, but they raced like true NNR veterans up here in the Cup Series, able to get it done, pretty much stayed clean for the most part. Combat Beast, Papa Bear, and everybody else out there in chat, thank you very much for coming out, hanging out, following, chatting. All those bits tonight, I absolutely appreciate every single one of you. Guys, we're going to take just a moment or two, allow these guys to run their cool-down lap, and we will be right back with you for post-race interviews. We'll talk to we'll talk to More Smoke, Lucky Dog, and Stout Whiskey in just a moment. All right, everybody. Once again, big thanks for keeping it right here. You're definitely going to want to stay for the post race interviews as we're going to reveal who's going to go on and win that Chase Elliott diecast. So, Cape, why don't you go ahead and pick up our third place finisher, the one and only Stout Whiskey, driver of the Discount Tire Deuce.
All right, Stout, you were actually my pick to win the race tonight, buddy. Tell me about your night. How'd it go?
I was going to say, you're going to want to interview Lucky Dog. I finished second.
What? All right, well, you go ahead and pick up all Lucky Dog then.
Lucky Dog. Looks like you had a good car all night, good long run, good short run car, and looks like the air just took off your nose there coming to the line. Is that kind of what happened? How was your car all night?
Car was pretty good. I mean, presets aren't they're pretty difficult to handle, so it won't handle exactly how you want it. So it was just really hard on a short run. I think that's where I struggled the most because the back end would just kick out. I mean, I don't know if it was from me being a bit aggressive, but it would just kick out on you randomly off 2 and off 4. And it was fast. I mean, we were really good in the long run once you got some laps on the tires, got temperature in them. But I don't know. I guess I was just a bit aggressive off 2. I felt like I took the same line the lap before, and I mean, I was dead sideways. I don't know how I didn't wreck everyone. I mean, I just tried my best to hold on to it, and then I went into 2, and then I kind of got shafted a little bit. That was just hard racing there, and I was just so loose there, and the short run was just terrible. I was just holding on for dear life, and off 4, I was pretty much near about to wreck, so I just hold on as best I could. And Sal was a third, but man, I can't believe I threw that one away. I'm really mad at myself. But a great battle with Amor all race. He really deserved that. Just good job to Stout and P2, and we really had a great car, and I really wanted to win it because I didn't know what to expect going into the race, and I don't really think I'm that good at presets, but think tonight we really showed up. So hopefully I can continue to do that the rest of the season, and got to thank everybody at NNR for the opportunity, and just man, I'm really bummed out. It's been a really terrible day. So would have liked to end on a high note there, but what happens. I made a mistake, and I'm going to try and learn from it for next time.
Something you can do, my friend. Like I said, good run. I've seen you on customs. I've seen you on presets, and good run tonight, man. And looking forward to seeing more out of you in this NNR series.
Thanks, bro.
All right, then we got old P number 2, which I thought was P number 3, so I didn't see that pass for second. Good job. But why don't you talk to old Stout Whiskey?
Indeed, we're with Stout Whiskey, the man with the bald head, to say the least. And Stout, you continue to put together excellent performances. You've done a great job this year, and I know this isn't exactly Bristol in which you won at earlier, but you found ways to make this look a lot like Bristol for you in regards to how your race kind of went. What was the strategy really going into this race? Obviously, having to go between the difference of custom setups to then default is a little bit different in terms of the handling. What was your approach to get through the field to set yourself up there at the end?
Prayers, to be honest. I've ran so many custom, so many laps here in custom setup, man. I didn't practice preset. I rolled with, I thought I was going to roll with a 4 or 5. I actually ran that in connection, and I was about to wreck, so I ended up with a 3 and just worked on it. We started 16th. The car just handles so different, just like, what Dan was saying, Lucky Dog. It just wants to snap, for the first 4 or 5 laps, and then, once it gets some heat in the tires, it seems like it wants to settle down. Drove up to 6th, finished 6th in stage 1, and then right there at the start of stage 2, Banner accidentally got into the wall. I hit him, brought out a caution, and we went to the back, and were able to race our way up to 9th by the end of stage 2. And I had a good car, especially once I figured out exactly what I needed to do to it. And I got an opportunity to be up there and race with those guys I felt like I should have been racing with the whole time, and it paid off. And be lucky to the stripe. I think he got loose a little off of 4, and I must have beat him by an inch or 2 to the line. But it was a good run. It was fun. This track is, you're just wide open basically the whole time, and you're on top of each other. So if someone gets gets into trouble in front of you, most likely you're going to get collected into it. And, track position is just key here, just because it's just so hard to, get a run off the corner. And, the cars are so even, the drivers are so even here in NNR, as far as talent wise. It's just, the only way to really pass was if someone screwed up. And, people screwed up in front of me. I screwed up some, and people were able to pass me back. But, come in, not practice on the preset, finish P2, get stage points in both stages, man, we'll count that as a W.
And you talk about all the factors you had to deal with today, between avoiding wrecks and yellows and such. But is there anything you learned going into the Movember 50 on Sunday?
Not really. It's just going to, be at the right place at the right time, make the right call on pit strategy. That way you're in front, because, practicing with a lot of those guys, a lot of us has already ran together. It's extremely difficult to pass. It's of course, we're all running different cambers, different springs, different bumps and rebounds. Some of us are going to be quicker off the get-go, but the thing is, even if you're quicker off the get-go, it's still going to be hard to pass because they're just so close on setup. So, I mean, I got a plan for Sunday, and I'm going to stick to that plan. And we're either going to Daytona, or we're going to be going to Homestead to try it again.
Indeed. Well, Stout, congratulations on your second place result. Anyone you want to thank here tonight?
Yeah, I always got to thank, J-Paw's Army, Dan the Lawman, Quims. That's the guys I spent a lot of time practicing with. I know Dad's watching. Thanks, Dad, for always being supportive of, your 36-year-old son playing a video game. It means a lot to me. And, just you guys for the job that you do every week. Pete does this 3 nights a week, sacrifice a lot of time with the family. It's special that you guys do this and allow us to have the opportunity to go back and watch the action that you guys called. So thank you.
And one last thing for those that have just recently tuned in, how can people donate to you here for the Movember 50 with the cause?
Pete, I don't know if you can get that and post that for me. I appreciate it
right now.
Pete's going to put that in the chat. I appreciate it. I know there's a lot of people that watch these races on Thursday nights that pull for Old Stout whiskey, and that means the world to me that you guys think enough of me to root me on, and we put on a good show. The 3 guys that's in this booth, and there was 3 or 4 other guys that were real racy. So just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate it.
Indeed. Well, again, Stout Whiskey, your second place finisher here tonight at Dover. Back to you in the booth, Pete.
Appreciate you, man. All right, guys. Yeah, I just put the link for Stout Whiskey's Movember charity cause right there in chat. Please go on over, give it a big old smash, and give what you can. Now, More Smoke, I'm going to ask you to be patient with me for 1 second, buddy. Rick James, you're just able to join us in the booth as we're going to get ready. Rick, you and I have for months been able to really push on the morethanAcape.org giveaway that Cape has been running. It's kind of fitting that the 9 UniFirst Camaro come in first place tonight, driven by the one and only More Smoke. He's great on setups, presets. It seems whatever More Smoke gets behind the wheel for, he's able to get it done, whether it's in league or in charity races or special events, wherever. Well, we've also got Cape here. All right, Cape, man, you purchased this car a few months back, and you let it be known that you're going to raffle it off. It was $5 for 1 ticket, or $10 for 3. During the course of the FFL tournament, and even after that, through NNR races, eSpark races, American Ethanol, turned down for whatever it was, we were pushing those tickets as hard, as fast, and as frequent as we possibly could. In the end, over 100 tickets were sold. That's phenomenal for your charity. That all goes to the people that are dealing with family members, or children dealing with pediatric cancer issues. You've all seen the commercials for St. Jude or the Ronald McDonald House and whatnot, where they say no family receives a bill while they're here. Families are taken care of. They don't have to worry about housing or food or their own bills or lodging, or they don't have to worry about all that. This is where Cape's charity, I think it's a 501(c)(3) or C or something like that, completely legit and does a phenomenal job for the families struggling. Cape, you got that car. It'll be delivered to you, I believe, late December, very early January. And of all the tickets, you've got us a winner.
I do, sir. I do.
Rick James, are you there, sir?
10-4, Pete. So happy to be here for this grand reveal.
Yeah, Rick. I know, Rick. You're in the middle of calling something right now, so I won't bug you too much. But Rick, it was an absolute pleasure having you as a sidekick to really drum up support. Cape, go ahead, spin that wheel, hit that RNG, whatever you got, and let's grab us a winner.
All right, Pete. I just spun it, and the winner of the number 9 UniFirst All-Star car is Foxhound Boss, or Corey Andrews.
So Foxhound Boss, yeah, very, very good. Foxhound, if you're out there in chat, Cape will be getting a hold of you either by Xbox Party or Twitter or email, whatever, and you will be receiving that Chase Elliott UniFirst Camaro in the mail once it's sent to him. And there's a little birdie that was on my shoulder not too long ago that told me you might even be able to possibly get that thing signed by Chase. If so, I'm sure that'll be an absolute plus, well worth waiting a little bit of extra time for. So Foxhound Boss, congratulations from morethanAcape.org and everybody else here at NNR and elsewhere on your win. I guess we can move on over to a more smoke, unless Cape, you wanted to say anything else about your .org or anything else in general.
Yeah, man, I cannot thank NNR enough, Rick James enough. You guys took me in at the beginning of the year, put me in a truck series, and I have learned so much from the guys there. I've learned so much from Stout, Coe, Amore, Word. I know we don't always see eye to eye, but it's this community is just phenomenal, man. And I know we're doing this for my foundation, but what you guys are doing with the Movember, man, that's really important, because mental health is one of the severely overlooked areas in this world. And you guys keep up the good work. And Pete, don't forget, we got that surprise giveaway too.
Surprise giveaway.
Yeah, we
actually, hold on one second before you do that. I've got to send out a big old congrats in chat. Foxhound Boss must have just had a buddy reach out to him, say, hey, you're probably going to want to join in to repeat stream. Well, Cape, I'm just going to give him the good news one more time.
Yeah, Fox, man, you won that diecast. I know you just a lot of people know this. Fox and I were pretty good friends, and he just had his son, and his son's name's Chase, so it's kind of fitting that he won that diecast. But what he doesn't know is I'm going to make him drive to North Carolina to pick it up.
Foxhound, congratulations! That Chase Elliott number 9 UniFirst Camaro, yes, lights up just like the real car did at Bristol Motor Speedway during the All-Star race, is yours, sir. Man, congratulations one more time. So, yeah, exactly, Fox. No big old whats. There you go, buddy. All right, so, Cape, what else you got up your sleeve?
So, because you guys have supported us so much, and because a lot of with COVID, we haven't been able to do our events this year. What we do at the foundation is we pay mortgage bill, light bill, telephone bill, internet bills, anything to help a family that's going through treatment. And we actually do a lot around Christmas as well with Play-Doh and stuff that kids can use their hands on, because not a lot of people realize it. But chemotherapy, it affects the child's motor skills. So we take in stuff for them to mold and keep their hands active. But, one of the people that's really helped me put all this together, Mr. Repeat, won our second diecast raffle. So he will receive from me personally a Dale Earnhardt Jr. diecast 124, just a random scheme that he ran.
Well, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. I will absolutely display that proudly with the other diecasts that I have. And thank you very much, sir. Absolutely appreciate you. Well, I think it's about time to talk to the man of the hour, man that was able to keep ahead of that concrete jungle here at Dover. More smoke. You, me, buddy.
Yep, got you, Pete.
Man, Amore, it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of fitting that you bring that Camaro to victory lane. You're able to elude Miles the Monster just about all night long. Didn't really see you getting into too much trouble. Able to avoid the glitch on the straightaways. At one point, we had almost 50 people out there rooting on different drivers. You're in the race also on Sunday, getting it done tonight. I'm sure that this is going to build up a little bit of momentum for you. Congratulations, buddy, and way to go.
I appreciate that, man.
So talk us through those after that late caution came out. You and the 13, you had to hold him off. I saw you move on down to block the line, and he had done that before where he got to your left rear, and you just had to give him the line. There was nothing you could really do other than maybe run him on down to the wall but possibly spin yourself out at the same time. Talk us through those closing laps, please.
Yeah. So the restart, had a decent restart. He kind of got through the gears a little bit better than me, but we were able to get the lead, and then I kind of scrubbed the wall just a little bit. He got the run and passed me, and I thought it was over, and then he kind of got loose right after, so I kind of just had to, take my shot, and he moved up the track just a little bit, so I just fit my car in there, and there was like 4 laps to go, so I just knew I had to be perfect, and I was trying to really be very careful on exit, especially on the new tires, so I was just kind of half throttling it, just making sure I wasn't going to get loose, because if I would have got loose, he would have just had a really big run on me. So yeah, I was just able to hold him off there at the end.
Man, you definitely pulled that low, and then you were able to pull right across the front of him and keep him behind you. I've seen you in that situation before where you had to try to keep it as low as possible. Otherwise, the line was just taken from you. Way to keep it down and way to bring this home. I believe this is your 4th win of the season. Both you and CJMX Rose are tied at 3 apiece. This gives you the tiebreaker. I don't know if you'll catch him in points. Last tally, I think you were just under 40 behind Rose, but man, this is absolutely going to help you depending on where you finished in stage 1 and stage 2 compared to him. But buddy, I said it during the stream, known you for years, know what you're capable of. Congratulations one more time. Any shout outs, bud?
Yeah, shout out to you guys, man. I can't thank you guys enough for broadcasting these races. Shout out to everybody that's giving away stuff. They don't have to do that, and them coming and doing that just shows the love that they have for NNR, and I'm just glad we have such a big community and people following us and have a big platform to race on.
Absolutely couldn't say it any better. Word and Cape, it's been a phenomenal race. This wraps up the week of Dover between the Truck Xfinity and now Cup race. We've all got next week off. Thanksgiving, everybody's going to be either staying home or doing what they can with their families. If you live in a state that's somewhat locked down, they're telling you, only 10 people, or make sure you got a negative COVID test before you come and visit. Please, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy. We definitely appreciate you. We will see you back in 2 weeks when all 3 series head to the paper of Martinsville Speedway. And, man, I'm absolutely looking forward to that. It's going to be a great time. A lot of people have already called their shots, whether in post-race interview or out there on Twitter or Facebook. I definitely wish you all well. Happy feasting. Wobble, wobble till you gobble, gobble till you wobble, as my father used to say. We'll see y'all around. Have a great couple weeks. Bye.